It's Nolan. So now we're going to get into Lil Durk's son. This is getting wild. Okay. Lil Durk's son allegedly has pow-powed his stepfather on live camera footage. I got to say allegedly because shit, I don't know what's real and what's not these days, but we're going to go over it. Okay. So Lil Durk's 10-year-old son has reportedly pow-powed again his stepfather, Joshua Pippins, following a dispute with the child's mother, which was captured on security camera. The incident transpired on July 1st, so it's just now hitting the net, but it happened a few days ago. And while details surrounding what ignited the fight are sparse, Pippins did speak out from the hospital bed to let social media users know that he was not the aggressor and that the young child was following his mother's lead. In the video, which I can't show y'all because he does allegedly get powed. In the video, if you find it, it's on Twitter. You see the Pippin, you can see the Pippin in orange trying to restrain the child's mother in purple. In the midst of the tussle, you can see the child in red point at what seems to be a firearm at Pippins. Shortly after that, the video cuts to the couple in the middle of the street. The couple continued to restrain one another, and you can see the child point at Pippin. And again, following a pow ringing out, Pippin immediately falls to the ground, appearing to be struck with a bullet. Gotta be careful about what I'm saying on this channel these days. You know, stuff that I'm doing one day may not come out to one day and it might not come out to the next. So I gotta really be careful about my words. Okay. Joshua Pippins did again take to his social media in an attempt to vindicate himself by saying he was not the aggressor and by posting the video. He was quoted saying, "I never in a million years thought a kid I bought four-wheelers and paid for football leagues and everything would do this, but he only knows what his mom shows him. I still love him like he's mine." Now, I will say, I don't know who is in the wrong or right in this situation. I did see the video. The video is available on certain social media platforms. However, again, it's not something that I can pull up. But what I can do again is just tell y'all what's going on. In the video, there is a visible tussle. I don't know who's the aggressor or who's defending themselves, but you can see him grabbing this woman in some form or fashion. He's grabbing her. You see the child run up in a red shirt, and he kind of grabs something, right? Because this guy Joshua Pippins did have a firearm on his waist. So the kid comes up and grabs it off of his waist, and he attempts to point it at him. He tried to up it on his ass one time to where somebody jumped in and was like, "Yo." Next thing you know, as stated in the quotations there, they were in the middle of the street. This man and this woman were still tussling. I don't know how they made it from the front of the house in the driveway area, sidewalk area, to the middle of the street without anybody being able to contain or split them up. I don't understand that part of it. There's not enough footage out here. It has been doctored. It's been chopped up. So you don't see, the entire exchange of events. But at the point where they're in the middle of the street, this child, 10 years old, he had the two-hand gripper. He upped it on his ass, and this time he did fire off, and he fell. So he did encounter some sort of, I guess he got shot. Okay? So now, this guy, Joshua Pippins, comes out, and he even released a statement about an investigation where he's cooperating with the police. So now people are trying to call him a snitch. I'm not saying he's a snitch. I'm saying that's what the internet and perhaps the streets are saying about him. So here's what he posted on social media. All right. There's a statement here that says, on July 2nd, 2024, FCM Dial interviewed Jerome Harris, 10, at the IMPD homicide office as part of the assessment investigation. And I believe Jerome is the name of Durk's child. Jerome stated when he and his mother returned to Mr. Pippen's mother's home on July 1st, 2024, Miss Collier, which I believe Miss Collier is his mother, and Mr. Pippins were in a verbal fight. Jerome stated he kept telling Miss Collier to stop fighting with Mr. Pippins. Jerome stated he then got out of the car and went over and pushed Mr. Pippins. FCM Dial asked Jerome if Miss Collier had a gun, and he said yes, but hers didn't go off. FCM Dial asked if Mr. Pippin was trying to get the gun away from Miss Collier, and Jerome stated yes. Okay. So both of them had weapon on them. The stepfather and the child's mother both had weapons. Okay. The child is saying that this guy, Mr. Pippins, was trying to get hers away from her. Perhaps she was already pointing hers at him. I don't know. The security footage was not close enough to where you could see that, but they were tussling in front of the house. Okay. But the child says hers ain't the one that went off. FCM Dial asked if Mr. Pippin was trying to get the gun away from Miss Collier, and he stated yes. Jerome then admitted to FCM Dial Mr. Pippin's gun had fallen to the ground during the struggle, and he picked it up and pawed him to protect his mother. Jerome stated he was scared that Miss Collier was going to get shot. FCM Dial asked Jerome if there had ever been any domestic violence between DV. I should have said that differently. All right. I'll say that again because my camera was tripping. Okay. FCM Dial asked Jerome if there had ever been any domestic DV between Mr. Pippins and Miss Collier in the past, and Jerome stated that they would yell at each other a lot. Jerome stated Miss Collier gets really mad really fast. Jerome blank, and these names are being redacted, are at vulnerable ages. Okay, so that must be his siblings. Are at vulnerable ages and are reliant upon caregivers to ensure a safe and stable home environment free from DV and neglect. It is unlikely the aforementioned concerns will be addressed without the coercive intervention of the court. Furthermore stated, based on the aforementioned, the Indiana Department of Child Services respectfully requests the court find Jerome Ellis Jr. and some other children to be children in need of services and find the coercive intervention of the court to be necessary in order to ensure the safety and well-being of the children. DCS is recommending continued removal of Jerome Ellis and his siblings from their mother, Miss Trevonna Collier. That's Lil Durk's baby mother. So they're removing her kids from her care and removing her unsupervised visitation for Mr. Joshua Pippins and Mr. Durk Banks. Excuse me, not removing. They're recommending unsupervised visitation for Mr. Joshua Pippins and Mr. Durk Banks. So they're stating that based on these actions that have taken place, they're removing her children from her custody and taking them to their fathers. which means Mr. Joshua Pippins, who was the alleged victim in this situation, he's getting possession of his child in the interim of all of this. She's losing the custody. Okay? It says, I affirm under the penalties for perjury that the foregoing representations are true. And then they've got the family case manager signing this. And they've got the signature of DCS supervisor also signing it. Okay? So Mr. Pippins posted this information online so people could understand that he was not actually attacking her. I think that was the whole point of this situation. He didn't want to be seen or known for going viral for being abusive. So in the statement, they asked if he was trying to get the firearm from Miss Travana, who also had one. He had one on his waist. Maybe they were tussling for hers. His fell off his waist, so they say. The kid picked it up. He tried to shoot him. He was, at that point, moved away from doing that. But then there was a second occasion in which he was successful in that, right? 10-year-old kid, man. Unfortunately, I'm sure all of these children have witnessed too much of this to even, you know what I mean? Because he said that they yell at each other often. So who knows what these children have witnessed? It's crazy. Okay? So let me see if there's anything additional that I can offer in this situation. He comes out and puts in his story. He says, whatever makes y'all feel better. And this is Mr. Pippins again when I'm talking about the story. He says, whatever makes y'all feel better. That's why I got custody of my kids and she don't. Y'all so internet. Thank God it was me that took the shot and not her. As in, he was the one that was hit, not her. That's still my daughter's mom, but she knows, like I know, God has always been good to me, survivor. He says, my blick was on my hip and I was trying to protect myself from getting blapped. I never in a million years thought a kid I brought four-wheelers and paid for football leagues and everything would do this, but he only knows what mom shows him. I still love him like he's mine. After posting that paperwork online about the custody situation and the interview that they conducted with the child, he states, I was posting that ish for the city, F Durk, and all that ish on my daughters, that ish ain't got nothing to do with him. People coming up with their own narrative. I'm a rat, I'm this, I'm that. But if I would have lost my life, I wouldn't be able to tell my side of the story. I would just be another dead nigga. I don't give a no more. I got custody of my kids. God don't like ugly. I pray he give y'all what y'all deserve, good or bad. He then follows up and says, I pray y'all favorite rapper takes full custody of Romeo and I get full custody of mines. Call me what y'all want to call me. It's about the kids at the end of the day. Wow. So the narrative that I see people pushing out, or I won't even say narrative, but one of the narratives, because people have conflicting ones. This lady on social media says, y'all got to start reading, bro. The mom showed up to the man's mother's home and attacked him. He wasn't fighting back, only restraining her. She was mad she was being restrained. So she told the boy to grab the blick off his stepdad's hip and blap him. The little boy said himself that his mom was the aggressor. Now, that's not what I read. I read that they yell at each other all the time. He did say that his mom has a short temper, but he did not say that she attacked him. Now, there may be some more information that I don't see in front of me, but that ain't what I read. Y'all could tell me if I'm misquoting myself. Y'all were actually listening to me, so let me know But I don't recall reading in quotations that the mom was the 100% aggressor in the situation. He did say that he was asking his mom to not fight with this guy, but that doesn't mean that she was the aggressor. I don't know. I wasn't there. Again, the security surveillance footage is chopped up. It only reveals a couple pieces. It reveals a struggle, and then it reveals another struggle, and it reveals him getting blapped. So everything else that took place, for whatever reason, has been cut from the footage. Somebody somewhere is going to have to, I hate to say it, excuse me, because it really ain't much of our business, but somebody somewhere is going to have to leak the uncut footage so people can see how they made it from that front driveway area, front walkway area to the middle of the street, how this came up. Perhaps we're going to have to see how she pulled up to the house. Now there is, I will say, from this outer angle, there is a car parked slanted. Let me just go ahead and pull a screenshot, because I can't just keep telling y'all everything that's going on without actually detailing what's going on. I really don't have any intentions on showing y'all this video though, so I want y'all to be clear on that part. But I do want to take a quick screenshot of this outer view. So as y'all can see here, there's a truck, a white truck here that looks like it's already been parked. And then we've got this black SUV here with the door wide open, slanted in the middle of the street, taking up space. Not professionally parked at all. So it is being assumed that Miss Trevana hopped out of this vehicle and charged at this man. That's what people are saying. Now, from here, Miss Trevana is here with this purple shirt. Mr. Pippins is here with this orange shirt. And then as you can see right up under Miss Trevana with the purple shirt, there's like this red speck. That's the son. Now, when you actually play the footage, you'll see him emerge and he'll try to take aim at Mr. Pippins. This shit is sad. That's the only way I can really speak about this situation. This shit is sad. It's a terrible situation up and down. It's the fact that there was any sort of domestic issue going on between these two parents where they had to be physical with each other in any format is terrible. The fact that this child was so scared and so used to this shit going on that he felt like he had to protect his mother in some form or fashion, to where he had to jump out the car and try to break it up. 10 years old, you ain't supposed to be getting involved with that, but who knows what type of stuff he's witnessed. The fact that he was comfortable enough to do that, the fact that he even knew how to aim it and you know what I'm saying, and not miss. There's a lot of people out there that'll take one of them and they'll be all over the place. I don't know, you know what I mean? But the shit is sad. Mr. Pippins or whatever, he's still alive. He's still here. And it seems like he's not holding any animus towards the child. Said he still loves him as his own. So I guess that all we can do at this point is just pray for everyone involved, pray for peace, pray for redemption, you know, and a better life for the children. To my knowledge, this child, Jerome, the 10-year-old, there was a period of time in his life where Lil Durk was not claiming him as his child. The mother, Miss Trevana, she was coming out doing social media content, going in on Durk, speaking very, I won't say disrespectfully, but speaking very aggressively toward his name. So I guess in recent times, he's become more involved in this child's life. Hopefully moving forward, he stays very active in this child's life, because he's going to need guidance. He's going to need a lot of help. The fact that he now has that on his name and under his belt for shooting a grown man. He's going to end up going back to school this fall. Who knows what that's going to do to his psyche? You know what I'm saying? Other kids are probably going to uphold him as some sort of G, some sort of gangster. And hopefully he doesn't take that on as a persona and feel like he has to live up to that. So extreme therapy is going to be needed. Like, there's a lot of layers to this shit that I don't think people always look at when we speak on these types of situations. But again, I just pray for the best.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more to survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross some out, came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.